some more fake truth. Are you ready? Well, you don't have to be ready yet. The stream has not started yet. So just, hang out for like a couple
Yeah, exactly. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
It's the middle of the day and I could still get a bunch of shit done, but I don't. I just don't. I like to waste my precious time. It's my favorite thing to do. Love to waste it away.
Conspiracies. People tend to see them in the face of inexplicable tragedy.
Conspiracies. Did you get his accent? His accent was kind of thick. He said conspiracies. He was the one that said it. So, don't put that one on me. Man, it is the daytime. What is up, everybody? Hippie Chick is here. Michael Day Ridgway, representing the SNAFU crew. I mean, it's happening. It's always continuously happening, even when I'm not live on the show. there's all sorts of crazy nonsense going on. And I'm very grateful for all the stuff that I have to do, the seriously elaborate amount of things that I have to do unrelated to said show that is happening right now. But I think that keeps me sharp. It keeps me out there doing the research. IRL, you know what I mean? But it often keeps me from coming to talk to you guys when I want to, basically. So, I've been having things that are overlapping with my usual nighttime. That's why I usually do things deep in the night, because I know that I'm not going to get interrupted. I know that I'm going to be able to just hang out with you guys and riff for a while and not worry about somebody barging in the door. And that's part of the nighttime experience. But recently I've been having work, come into the nighttime and taking over our time together. Our time together, guys. So I'm sorry about that, but that's, I think, a good fun part about this whole live YouTube crazy experience is that, right, you get that notification and, whatever's going on in your day, if you got a second, like, you come on over and see what's up and say hi to your friends, so that's part of the experience as well. But regardless of all that nonsense, that's why I gotta keep on this, because this time lapse is already stale, right? This is from like 2 days ago. This is not the weather that's happening right now. I'm gonna have to maybe come on again tonight and show you what's going on today. But it's still pretty, It's I don't want to let it go to waste. It's rapidly spoiling, but these are some beautiful clouds. These are some actual non-human made. They seem real. What's up, Florida Patriot? It's good to see you too, dude. So if you don't know who SNAFU Snaps is, that is a problem, and it's about to be remedied like real quick. But you should definitely go over to this guy's channel and see what's up with him, because he's a master of many things that you wouldn't expect somebody to be a master of. But this guy does it all. And he's just a really fantastic guy, good interviewer, and is representing this movement just like a couple other people are around here. And it's good to have some like minds around. So I'm gonna do a new crazy thing and try to get SNAFU on the line. And I don't know, we're gonna go from there, if you know what I mean. I could turn that down. That's super loud. And we shall see. This is all new tech. It's happening in the moment. Get a fabulous, as SNAFU is a fan of saying. So we'll see where this goes, At any rate, you can check out this time lapse, which I never think is wasted time looking at said time lapses. Let's see if I can. Do we got you?
Fake Truth.
Oh man, there he is.
Fake Truth and all. How are you guys all doing?
As they say, the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, no. It's all of you guys, my friends. It's every one of you. Every one of you guys, man. Hashtag truth, yo.
Hashtag truth,
Thanks for having me on your show, man. I appreciate it, Fake Truth.
No problem. No problem. This is a trip, right? We get to have like a conversation.
Yeah, and I get to have a conversation with everyone. Like, if you notice, I got your screen here, Ghetto Fabulous, and
yeah, dude.
So I'll know everyone in the chat, So hello, all.
Yeah, I'm assuming both of our channels like overlap pretty heavily, but at the same time, yeah, we gotta keep talking to each other, bringing people over to each other's channels, and just right. If we got the same message, we gotta combine forces. That's the only way to get out there, as far as I can tell.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And what you've been doing, man, is wonderful, man. I cannot be more proud to see guys like you and just everyone, just the spark, man. And I love your stuff. I love your content, your channel. It's rock star status, man. And we love you. We got you, man, for sure. SNAFU
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, dude. Because yeah, no, we got to stick together. Which is maybe, I don't know. I think sometimes part of the psyop that like, because there is just so much messaging about us getting separated, right, and like turning against each other. And I mean, what else are you supposed to do in the face of that? Like stand up. Like we've all watched like a million movies where the guys, you know, the big guys try to stomp out the little guys, and like what do they do in the movies? Like they get up and they don't let that happen. Like we got to get back out there. So sometimes I think we're playing into their hands, but other times I'm like, no, there's no other way. Like we gotta just like speak our truth and get out there. Like psyop or no, like
you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely like when I always tell everyone that we're seeing the digital uprising, but I always say that that's part of the agenda that kind of goes hand in hand what you just said, that we're playing in the hands. But the fact is we, the people around the world, are seeing the changes, and everyone's starting to do their thing, as you say, you know, and that's what is the amazing part, and that's where the truth starts coming in, you know, and it's amazing to be part of this history. It's, you know, but it's more amazing to get to know each and every one of you and just hear your voices and hear we, the people around the world, man, for real. Like that's the beauty of this whole thing.
Oh, totally. I mean, yeah, and just to realize that you, I don't know, are made to feel pretty insignificant that there's 6 billion people here or whatever. But in reality, like even when there's just a handful of people listening, like you're affecting the world in a very powerful way. Just by opening your mouth, you know, and like being honest with whatever that you're doing. And that's, yeah, I mean, that's your whole deal, right? Like it's just super obvious that you're not going to try to trick anybody, right? That's just not in your nature. And I think, you know, in this community, you learn to read character pretty quick because there are some shysters out there, right? And you got to watch your back, definitely, like some misinfo. And so I think that's why, yeah, a lot of people in this community can judge that character, and that's why they can tell with you. It's just like, oh no, this guy's legit. Like, well, he's not gonna try to fuck with me, and everybody's trying to fuck with us all the time. So like,
right. No. And here's another thing I always say, man, because I always say trolls have free speech too. When you start censoring anything, it's a gray area because who gets to choose, the left or the right, what is right and wrong? My whole thing about it is we're logical human beings for the most part. I mean, it really doesn't show as of late, but those of us who are awake, those of us who see what's going on and want to protect our livelihoods, our family, our moralities, and just the laws that were given to us, the rights. You know, we the people are starting to speak out and stand up. And even if people put out false information, that's where it comes to us individually to discern and break it down and really talk about these subjects and situations. And that's what I love about all of you guys doing this, is because we don't have the same beliefs. We don't have the same moralities or morals or the way we are, but we can unite under certain things. And that's what we're seeing, the truth, yo. And that's what I'm saying, man, is for the most part, you know, I tell people if someone tells me if a unicorn's pooping rainbow Skittles and dandelions are flying beneath it, you know, it's up to me to watch it if I want to watch it. It's up to me to turn it off if I want to. And it's up to me to like study it if I think it's true or not, you know. But no, I love what you like your motto, man. I really do. You're absolutely right.
Totally. Well, and it's an old concept. I mean, who's that guy that's like, you know, I don't like what you're saying, but I'm going to defend to the death your right to say it or whatever. Like that. I mean, that kind of stuff goes way back, but it's crazy that we got to like bring him back again. Like that. It's honestly, things have shifted so far so fast that it's like, it's just weirding me out. Like I was just thinking about this guy that I knew that like it was many years ago before this whole truth thing really got, you know, went down the rabbit hole, and he was totally all the time being like, dude, there's totally starships like up in the sky, and like look at that cloud and look at that thing, like that thing's watching me, you know. And I was just like, you know, this guy's paranoid or whatever. Like he's a little off, and he's a super nice dude, but he just got on this weird trip, and like that's fine, just let him be him. But comparing that to now, it's just, you know, basically sort of what a lot of people are doing, like looking up in the sky and being like, yeah, I've come to this conclusion. And it may be like totally wrong, maybe totally right, but like, right, that guy, I don't want to put that guy in jail. Like I don't want to shut that guy up. Like, you know, you can just like keep it to yourself if you think it's too weird to even engage with. But that's not going to be the right answer to be like, dude, you can't say that. Like, otherwise, I don't know, like the cops are going to come for you. You can't believe in aliens in the clouds. Like, it's just kind of laughable that, you know, that would become this like punishable offense, but that just feels like where it's headed a little bit. That like, no, you got some toxic thoughts here. You got some toxic content, and that's not allowed. That's not, you can't put that out there.
And I know you, Fake Truth. I know that you deal with a lot of the Hollywood type peeps and stuff like that. So you guys, this man is a storyteller right here. He knows about storytelling, you know, as far as, you know, when you think about agendas and some of the optics. I always use the word optics, as many of you who know me and watch my show. Optics are everything right now. And it's great to see guys like the different people, as you said, different thoughts, different beliefs, and then them also spreading their truth, and then it's for us to decipher and discern which is right. And what I like about you, man, is, you know, you delve into a lot of the storytelling, the movies, the optics of subliminal messaging and things to that nature. And I love it, man. I love it. It's great work.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is key. That's, you got to keep an open mind. I keep thinking about that, like all the stuff that I've learned by going down this rabbit hole, and probably the weird stuff that I put in my brain and then pushed out again. But like, oh, it's just so awesome. Like gaining this knowledge, and then to think about people that they just put up a brick wall instantly around everything. That like, oh, well, that's too far out of my comfort zone. So like, you know, basically fuck all of that. I'm not even going to like entertain the thought. And I'm telling you, like, you know, it's hard to articulate, but I've learned the craziest shit, like watching the most like weird ass YouTube channels, you know, stuff that is so fringy that like it would honestly just scare most people away. And then, but there may be some, you know, grain of truth or wisdom in there that this person came across that like, you know, joke's on them for just laughing it off, because like you just missed out on experience. You missed out on life, and like, damn, you got to repeat that your whole life? That means, I don't know. You get pretty far behind pretty quick that way, basically, because this is a short life. We got shit to do, you know? Right.
You know, and I want to apologize to all you guys watching right now. You see me looking back. You see me looking forth. I'm doing this snafu, like I'm doing it ghetto fabulous. You know how I do it. So I'm trying to like read a lot of your comments right here too, because I told Fake Truth, I said, what the coolest thing about us doing this and networking is we could interact with all of you guys. That's what the SNAFU crew is about. That's what Fake Truth's about. That's what all these channels, Homegrown USA, Bubba News, Marfugal TV, True Reporting, Atomic News, is we're we the people. So I told him, I was like, that's so cool you're doing lives, because you could interact. And he does. He interacts with you guys. And that's real special, man. And for that, dude, I just want to say thanks, dude. You do such a great job, man. But I just wanted to explain why it was looking ghetto fabulous while I was looking back and forth.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was showing your channel a little bit. I'm trying to, you know, mix it up here a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate the chat too. And that's, I mean, honestly, the true power, I think, of this platform is that, yeah, we can get a group of people and then we can start talking, and it can go like anywhere from there. You can build these communities, and they can pop up pretty quick. You know what I mean? And honestly, yeah, people can tell through the ghetto fabulous thing is key, I would say, because like people don't need all the shiny bells and whistles. I'm trying to add a little couple things just to keep it moving along, but honestly, like people just, you know, they're looking for that information, I think, you know, and that's what we're doing too, online and offline.
Amen,
but
brother.
you know,
That doesn't mean we can't have a little fun sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I need to take you to a party with that voice one day.
I can't actually do this.
You'll have fun with that.
That would be kind of crazy.
if I could just like
Camera switch in real life. Like,
this, I don't know.
Oh man,
People would be a little
hiding
weirded out.
Imagine hiding in a bush or something. Like
Totally.
like, you know, just saying something funny.
Oh, totally. It's like, was that too loud?
I would rock that, dude.
Was that too loud?
I would rock that, dude. Come on. You know, people would be like, that bush is doing that? What?
Yeah. It's like, what's going on over there? Yeah, dude. So
Invite me
so
to your show. I appreciate
totally,
it, my man.
totally. So I got some. Man, my bumper's not working. Come on, bam! Check that out. I gotta get a lower
probably
res
have-
file, I guess. I got some like news going here. I mean, I'm always pulling up the news, and maybe we could just look at some of these articles and talk through it a little bit. Obviously using a horribly elaborate code language because we can't say most of these words. I guess it's okay to write them, but I swear they have like image rec that is is transcribing whatever's like written there too. I think we're majorly underestimating their capabilities, honestly, at every turn. But with all this keyword stuff too, like, I'm not sure. It's always a thicker layer than I would like to think. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this whole storyline? Because they said it happened, and then the Japanese people.
I'm on a delay. So are you talking about
Totally,
the flying object struck Tanker Gulf?
Yeah,
Is that
no,
what
we'll
story
stick
you're
with.
on?
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking this. Yeah, words we can't say, right? But there's this thing that's happening, and then it didn't happen. Apparently, like one day all the news stories were saying that this thing happened, and then the next thing everybody was refuting it and going back on it. I mean, what else are we supposed to call that? There's this one really important word that we can't use, right? Which this basically was, and then it came out in the mainstream media that it was, and we still can't use that word, basically.
I like to use the word optics.
Yeah, no, I can tell. Optics is key. Optics is hot right now.
We can't say all these words, but like you said, we're told it happened and it didn't. But it reminds me so much of what we've been seeing a lot of lately is, think of the Hawaii incident.
Right. No, it's all optics. Totally.
If you understand what I'm saying, it happened, but then it didn't happen.
Totally.
And that's something that happens with a lot more. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that kind of thing happening and that kind of message going out to the public. And it was really a beta test in so many ways. And a lot of people know this, and I know Adam, that was one of the first videos he did when Secure Team put it out, of the men on the ship catching the footage that they caught.
Right.
But the fact is we see these things happen, and I even want to talk about that September day. That's all I'll say. But
right.
we're told things, and I can say this without hurting your channel, but Building 7. There's certain things that people.
Right, but it's just yet another. I don't know. There's so much overlap here. That's something that gets referenced in entertainment all the time. By mainline stuff, which often makes me think like. The seed of doubt has been planted on purpose, basically. Not to saying that we're all being played, but it's
it is.
I talk a lot about division, and that is key to everything that's going on. And yeah, that issue like split this whole country's psyche down the middle because there's the people that are willing to entertain the thought, and then the people that aren't, and that's a pretty like strong dividing line, basically.
So what do you think? Do you believe? And I guess the audience too in your chat. Yeah, my screen is lagging, but we know that we've seen the attacks ramp up as far as in that area and region and stuff. And do you think this is as key as they're saying it is? In your opinion, everything is key, but you get what I'm saying. Do you think?
Everything is key, but
just kind of, as you said, like something to throw us off and look one way versus the other, because there's so many moves being made right now, my man, that is insane.
Definitely,
that mainstream media is not covering any of this.
Totally. Well, and that's why you got to keep doing the research. There's just so much reading and other important stuff to look out for. I mean, I got to pull some quotes from it, but reading this book by Alice Bailey called "The Consciousness of the Atom," just like some real obscure shit. But like, this is a really important book for the the UN, and there's just sort of this weird society that operates within the UN. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah, I do.
some people may have seen this book mentioned or whatever, but a lot of people don't actually go and check it out. It's like, and it's worth
I'm so glad you showed that book, my man.
going to check it out.
That's really cool.
Well, let me try to pull the actual, because that's the Witch Path to Persia. Maybe I'm allowed to say all of those numbers and letters.
Who knows? Like, really, who knows what we're allowed to say, right? Like the dictionary, the freedom of speech, it's so insane right now, and I fear, like, honestly, the optics of Article 13 is just gonna get intense, and so, like, that is something that I know that we as YouTubers, creators, we as the people and stuff, we do need to make a voice on your Twitter, on your emails. I know Trump set up that thing where you could go talk to him if your channel's been hit, but like, it ain't even just about that. It's your voice about the censorship we see going on. Many people are talking about it, Crowder and a bunch of others, Jones and them, but we, the people, like that. Yeah, you're right, man. It's just incredible. You can't say Purple Barney the dinosaur probably without them saying you're making fun of dinosaurs or something.
Oh yeah, no, that's off the list. Plus, you just like, are you denying dinosaurs existed? There's always just some, like, I don't know,
Right.
hole that they can stick you in, and then all debate is cut off, and that's just hyper convenient.
Absolutely.
No, I was just talking about this. I mean, I'll pull up the quote later, but this lady, it's Lucius Trust, and it's whatever you want to make of all this symbolism here. They talk a lot about rhythms and pulsings and those things happening in the natural world, and that in politics and other areas that you have to copy a lot of the natural world to have the greatest effect, right? So especially with this consciousness seeding stuff, you gotta like pulse it over and over again. The idea has to get seeded and then gestate for a long time, sometimes for decades, right? And that's this is from the Brookings Institute, and I mean, a lot of people should know this paper too. Few have probably actually read it, but yeah, Witch Path to Persia was this was all planned, as late. It must have been planned a much longer time ago, and you get into all that Alex Pike stuff. But
Fake truth.
if you read this, it lays it all out.
If I may, because I know what you're kind of talking about, but like you said, many people are just starting to wake up. Many people are starting to just kind of figure out what some of this is. If you had like someone on the street who was real basic that came up to you and you had to explain what you're looking at and talking about, can you like let them know just in case they don't know what we're talking about?
Totally, yeah, and that is a big. I mean, it's an information society, so it's hard to know where everybody's at on their journey, and like some things you'll bring up and people be insulted, like, oh, well, don't tell me about tying my shoes because I already know how to tie my shoes. I learned that a long time ago, and other people, are on a different level. So, but yeah, but I totally see what you're saying, dude. Yeah, this if you know the Brookings Institute, there's a lot of think tanks in Washington that basically they get a bunch of smart people and they pay them tons of money and they come together and come up with ideas, and about all sorts of things, and then they publish these long papers. This is only 170 pages.
Yeah, it's a short one.
But they'll give them like a problem solver, which whatever, and that's the title here: Options for a New American Strategy Towards Iran, and this is 2009. And it's an analysis basically, and if you look into it, it's like any, I guess, sort of clinical thing that you will read, like some pamphlet, I guess, for a university or a car or anything. There's going to be an intro and then the main questions, and then people that helped with this. But right, it's all our favorite guys that probably did a lot of other stuff that we talk about on these channels. The Brookings Institute is very deeply seated, and yeah, I would just encourage everybody to go down rabbit holes, and I think that's why they call them that, because that again stigmatizes that you shouldn't waste your time looking into the Brookings Institute. But I'm telling you that that will not be wasted time in any way. That
very cool subject.
You will gain knowledge there, basically. And just to sort of finish that off, like it goes through a whole bunch of stuff. But here's a good page, the table of contents, right? They're like, well, chapter 1, what if they we give them this option, and then okay, part 2 is going to be, well, that's not going to work. Obviously, there's only 2 chapters there, so we got part 2, disarming Tehran, military options. Should we invade? Should we do airstrikes? Should we encourage? Oh, leave it to Bibi. Now, allowing and encouraging Israeli. Ooh, bad
Right.
keyword there. Bad
And
keyword there.
people need to realize that these are publications, so to speak, and big people read these things.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just one of these. There's literally thousands of these that get pumped out all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And yeah, some people read. It's still a pretty small, community, I think, and that's the key to a lot of these things. There's not a lot of people. This is a very famous one, but actually, actively keeping up people that read foreign affairs. It's a smaller group, and therefore they could be a little lazier with their language, right? This is not something that you're going to read about in any sort of newspaper situation, saying, "Oh, well,
It's definitely not Aunt Becky going to jail type info.
Exactly, and yeah, I don't know. That's just gonna keep. It's just gonna keep ramping up. It's just gonna keep. But that was 2009 is the point, and that here we are 10 years later, and we're basically doing all those things that were in that table of contents, like. Just
Yes.
And that's fully random, right? These 2 things are completely unrelated. That Brookings Institute paper and what's happening in reality right now, unrelated, like utterly. I just showed you these 2 random things, and we're gonna look at some puppies now, maybe.
Aw, some puppies. Aw. No, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up, my man. You guys go do your research. Go check it out if you want to. I tell people don't go in rabbit holes unless they really want to. Like you said, it's nothing like, the reading, the material, the things that are in these are pretty, I guess, what would be the word you'd say, Fake Truth? Like,
oh, the language and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's very academic. Yeah. That's the other point. That people don't have attention spans that long anymore. So it is, how am I about to spend that's going to take me days to read 170 pages.
Right.
I'm not saying actually go do it. You can just go flip through it. A bunch of it is sort of fluff, but you'll, if you're honestly curious at all how these guys think, then wouldn't you go read their diaries? Like, they're all published on the internet.
Exactly. The gold nuggets are always hidden in the middle somewhere,
Well, I mean, that's when you realize how good they got us, is that they can literally just put it all out there and make it not even hard to find, with all of their standard search engines, and still nobody's going to care or look at it, and you're going to be stigmatized for even mentioning it at a party or anything like that.
Speaking of putting it out there, Fake Truth, I know, like I said, I know you work, like you do movies and all the subliminal messages. What is your thought about how aggressive they're putting it out there now? All the messaging and stuff. Like, I mean, they're putting it out there, as you just said, quite a bit, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what pushed me over the top a little bit to get in here and do this, because, yeah, like I'm seeing the writing on the wall. Like, if they've already got everybody totally spaced out and like barely paying attention, and then at that point, if you're able to take away some freedoms, especially after some sort of major event, after that major event, like, we're not going to be able to go back and do this kind of thing anymore. And that's again, it's like, I'm sure if you put some energy into it, you can find out who I was, but it's more about the idea that I want to mask my voice, and I want to be, that was just my choice, and I want to be able to take that choice. I want to be able to appear without all of my identifying information being displayed on the internet. And basically I'm saying in a matter of years, that's going to be unacceptable. And
honestly, you just hit it on the nail. And we have a lot of people such as Atomic News, and I personally myself have said it, and then we've seen it happen in Sweden. I'm going to be very careful when I cover this, because I don't want to do anything for your channel, but I know we keep it real, Truth Yo. Right. Is when we saw that event occur, okay, in NZ, as soon as that event occurred, they went on a mandatory curfew, and all the internet social media platforms were shut off. Facebook, Twitter,
they got the kill switch, yeah. No,
Yeah,
the
they
kill
did. They
switch
did.
is ready to go at any
Yeah,
moment.
they did. And that happened in Sweden. And they did that after an event. Now, Atomic News came on my show a while back, and we were talking about the border and with the optics of what we're seeing there. And she said herself, she's like, it could take one event of some sorts, who knows what and if and how and whatever, but then it could change the way the borders ran. And that's what you nailed it on the spot. And that's what a lot of us truthers and those people who see what's going on is, the mainstream media is not telling us what's really going down. And then the social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and all this, we're seeing it go down, and they don't want that. And so what they do is then they're going to try and restrict live streaming by saying, okay, we're going to start suppressing, you got to have this many stuff, and what is next? And like you said, right now you feel, and it should be absolutely true, we're in America, that if you don't want to use your voice, if you don't want to use your face, you could even point the camera at a wall, at paint drying, and that
Right.
should be okay for your YouTube channel. But with the optics of what we're seeing, like forced vaccination, or oops, sorry, but forced,
Oh,
you know
damn.
what? I know,
Yeah,
oh, dang,
exactly.
my bad. Tell him it was me. Tell him it was me, man. But no, with these forced optics of what we're seeing, you're right, man. Who knows? And with Article 13 coming in play, who knows how severe and how far they're going to push what they can. And we're seeing big tech talking to the government now, like the hearings that I posted. So yeah, no, you're right. You're right on that, Fake Truth. Absolutely.
Oh, totally, dude. Oh, damn. Was that audio coming through? Did you guys? Because we just hit the 33 mark on my stream here. But I'm not sure if you guys could write in the chat if the outro music came through, because I got all my wires crossed.
I see Sarah Calera Bro said, we're doing so good. Oops, let one slip. And then JStone78 said, audio fine. We did let one slip. Just blame it on the SNAFU crew. I'm sorry for you, Fake Truth. My bad.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, dude. No, and I mean, we could get into that subject too. But I want to get on to I am mother, because there's some important stuff I want to show you guys there. Yeah, I am mother, because yeah, I think the whole thing with the keywords has a chilling effect, right? Because it gets us all scared and worried about saying the wrong thing, and that's like that was the actual purpose of the whole thing. It's not like they're gonna kick us off the channel for saying that word that one time. Like, I don't honestly. I mean, you never know. You never know.
You never know nowadays.
But that's part of
the
keeping us guessing sort of thing.
Yeah. Look at that ride, man. Have you ever been in one of those?
No, and that's another one I wanted to talk about. That story's been going around a lot. I mean, we're on to the GPS outages. That story, where is that? Yeah.
I'm on a lag. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. But if I could pull this up, the fake ride thing, basically. And I saw this article a million places that this is like a major problem, right? Because this fake, it's fake, basically. The ride goes up.
The ride is fake?
Yeah, the video is fake. The ride is real, but somebody like composited it to extend the line. So it like goes up in a tower, and then it falls back down. I don't think I want to play the actual video. Man, I can't find it. Where is this video? There it is. Right, it's a real ride, but the strings aren't that long. They made you go up in the ride, and then it like drops you, basically, and then you go and flying around in a circle, and it's a thrill ride. But somebody composited it to make the tower look crazy tall and the lines look really long, and then it looks just crazy dangerous. Like, who would ever let themselves do that? But the actual point was that there was 1,000 articles everywhere about chill, guys, the video is fake, right? And this is fake truth right here, right? They put this video out nonstop about how
Wow.
I mean, it was in many different news art, outlets. From, I guess this is Mashable, but it was in The Hill and a bunch of other people, and they're just like, chill, guys, this video is not real. When in reality, compositing like this is totally like early 2000s, easy to do video editing. But what it's much more about these stories is telling this story of like, well, dude, if they can fake this ride. Did you see the video and that ride? It looks totally real when they're using really, really old tech for video editing capabilities. But the point is that like we're being told this story that we can't just have free publishing of video content on the internet because things are going to be fake. Therefore, don't let people just do this. Yeah.
They're getting
well, the point is that it's all fake,
Truth.
and it's all been fake this whole time. Yeah, they're getting caught, and that's why they got to shut that shit down.
Look, it went as far back as Nancy Grace. You remember Nancy Grace? She got caught in a parking lot telling people she was doing an interview with someone, and the car in the same scene passed the parking lot, and it was a big meme YouTube video out there, and then. When hurricane hit, I think it was CNN did a bunch of videos where they said the water was knee deep and waist deep, and people were walking behind them. It was only ankle deep. And then, recently, I think it was a call to an uprising, the YouTube channel. He pointed out the measles picture of the baby, and it was linked to
that was totally photoshopped. Picture. Yeah.
And also, if you think about it, with the weight lost things over the years, like back in the day, Little Richie, whatever, doing his little dance, and magazines, they tell you how they use the editing tools that we use today to create these channels, to create the entertainment that we see, the same tools to manipulate and make people think the optics are what they aren't. So
totally. I mean, right. The whole entertainment media thing has been doing that forever, and that's, I don't know, I was thinking about how that's what people do just regularly. Everybody does this. Like when you're telling a story about yourself, you either try to like make yourself look way worse, or you make yourself look way better. Like you're always distorting the actual truth, even when you're talking about something that you like totally intimately know, like your own experience. Like it's actually basically impossible to just like observe something and then convey that observance onto anybody. Like you're gonna end up with distortions anyways. But the point is that like, can you use these distortions strategically to really, right? You can send people down a path that maybe they weren't going to go down, but you gave them all these choices, and then at the end they ended up, I don't know, a serial killer, and like they had no option basically because you led them down that path. Right. Serial killer.
My brother, thank you so much. I just gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
I do gotta ask you a question, my man. So these time lapse of your clouds I always see in your intros and stuff, is that an everyday time lapse, or?
Yeah, well, that's I think, did I talk about it a little bit? It's this is actually from yesterday. I keep losing track of time because my 24-hour clock is off. But this is either from Friday or Thursday. And yeah, these are where I live, and I just pointed them at the sky, and it's a GoPro. It's like a 0.5 second exposure, so
very cool.
Take what you will, but yeah, and the auto exposure's on, so the brightness is not exactly perfect. That's why it's hard to say whether the sky is actually blinking and changing color at a specific time every day, like it appears to be doing. But I would need more equipment. This is not. I'm not a scientist.
Well, hey, you guys, SNAFU crew, I just want to say for everyone in the SNAFU crew, we support you, Fake Truth. Fake Truth is just as much of the crew as everyone else out there, and he's just as powerful as each and every one of you, your voices and your thoughts. Even if you're not doing channels, even if you're not, your voice and your thoughts and your opinions matter in the times we're in. And, dude, like I say, I call you guys, I call all you guys the little Paul Revere's, man, and dude, Fake Truth, we got you, man, for sure. You know that. And I encourage every one of you guys to support him, check his channel out. Make sure you put the thumbs up. YouTube is already hitting us in algorithms and the way things are going. So show that love, share his videos, put it on Twitter, and just make noise, man. Make noise that Fake Truth is here, guys, and we're going to watch him and check him out. And he's part of SNAFU crew. He's part of just We the People around the world. And, do our thing, guys.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to do this is together because, it's not like they're, I don't think specifically like targeting us and trying to take us down or whatever. It's more of a numbers game, but I think if you flag the right flags early on, then your whole thing is going to be, they're just not going to put you out there very much. And we're definitely somehow, however we got on that list, we're definitely on that list. And so, yeah, we appreciate any legwork that you guys do because literally they're not going to do anything for us. They're not going to kick us off, but they're not going to help us either. So.
Well, and it's so cool to see just the different stories, even if you're not necessarily a news channel. We got like the Ann Lynn show and all these other people out there, and it's just seeing the unity in the times we're in, my man. And the mission. Me and you've talked many times off the phone or off the camera, and I mean, honestly, you guys, this mission, the Truth Yo movement, all these people doing their individual thing, that's what it's about. And I just honestly, Fake Truth, I cannot say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for having me on your show. Thank you for, just being a part of the movement. And thank you, man. You're a rock star, bro.
Yeah, dude. No, thanks for coming on. And this actually worked. The technology.
It worked. We did it. We did it, guys.
We totally did it.
All right, because like we did a Ghetto Fabulous.
We did a Ghetto Fabulous. It is.
Job.
No, it's coming together. It's coming together. Yeah, we'll just keep putting it out there for you guys. We appreciate everybody. Yeah, but I put it in the title. I feel guilty when I put stuff in the title and then I don't talk about it because that's a red herring right there. Well, I'm gonna go off on a whole tangent. You can stick with me or
let's go. Let's talk. I'm just on it. Let's talk about it. I Am Mother, right? That's
okay. Because I'm gonna play some clips and you're gonna be a little offset. So I can describe for those. Those non-seeing people at home as well. Not that that's funny. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Think of us as like blind little dudes reaching out.
Yeah.
But you could explain it to me like a little storybook, Keller.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get this clip up. Where we at?
I'm gonna try and reload my screen so it's equal with yours. But the lag is crazy. I cannot believe how crazy the lag is.
Yeah, it lags out. All right, so is this I Am Mother? All right, here we go. So, I didn't pull up the IMDb info. I don't always pull up all the production info, but as with all these things, it's interesting to dig into production info. And anybody can go on IMDb and trace around the people. What has this actor done before? What have these producers done before? Because all of that gets pulled forward and backwards, into the show itself. Like, whatever show the Game of Thrones producers do next is going to be fucking massive just because it's the Game of Thrones producers. And that game plays all the way to the bottom for even smaller producers and all that kind of stuff. So I think this was actually Russian made. Again, it's always worth looking into the production info, but that's not
what
specifically.
What is the name of this movie?
Specifically what I wanted to talk about. This movie is called I Am Mother. It just came out on Netflix like a couple days ago. And it's just another movie in that whole same style. This whole same genre of the future happening, probably some sort of pandemic, and then that all mixing with the robot uprising / AI taking over and destroying the human race. It honestly is the same story over and over again. Yeah, and this, everybody has a little different spin on it. So this robot is pretty freaky. You got to admit, but it looks very similar to a lot of the models that DARPA and other sort of Boston Dynamics things that you're seeing around these days. And so the basic storyline is like the movie starts and they're like it's day one of bad things happening. And basically they slot this embryo into a artificial womb, and then this is our main lady, like she gets born out of this artificial womb, and you realize that this is like an underground facility, bunker situation, which again, the image just over and over again of the bunker. But this bunker is filled with genetic material and everything that they would need to repopulate the human race through, artificial wombs and all that kind of stuff. Which I've done stories about that. That is majorly coming as well, right? That it's going to become too dangerous to give birth normally, and that we'll stop doing that because it's too dangerous. So, right. All these images sort of get layered on top of each other. That's the basic premise. But they develop a bond, right? Because I am mother. Like, this is her actual mother. Like, she's, for the whole first part of her life, she's never seen a human, right? This is the only thing she's interacted with. This is artificial intelligence.
Right.
And she's taught her everything. She sends her to school and she reads all the books and everything. And gives her tests and all this kind of stuff. But you realize that they're lying, basically. That the aliens are lying. Yeah, and here's a picture of the embryo. Should come up on your screen in a second. I've read like real scientific reports about this getting developed, and that it really is coming. That we're gonna have. I guess you have to develop them a little bit, but then you freeze them, and then you have this little like ready to go baby, and you just need to hook it up to nutrients, and it's not going to know its mother's voice, but it's going to be a baby. It's
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it sounds crazy and laughable, but that stuff's real. Like many people, that's truth, yo. That stuff's real.
Yeah, there you see it.
Okay,
yeah,
I see it.
And so
the wires hanging out of it and everything.
Yeah, and it's all these stories, it's all these ideas. They just keep spreading around, and this is just one that you really need to know how this works, basically, because that's the only way I can explain it. Is like, not everybody's gonna watch I Am Mother, but there's a good chance they caught another show that talked about, or some other form of entertainment that talked about non-human birth, artificial womb birth. Is this the first time you've heard of that concept, SNAFU?
No, not at all, actually. I mean, honestly, I'm really glad that you're bringing. That's what I love about your channel is you bring a lot of the deprogramming, the subliminal messaging, and as I like to call the desensitization of things. I mean, it's gone as far back as I pointed out like the Super Bowl commercial with the EMPs, and we also pointed out like the old TV show with what is it called? The time traveler with the rocks and the rubble.
There's a lot of time travel stuff these days. Which time travel show? Dude, you turned. He's reconnecting. SNAFU just turned majorly sideways. But it's been good having him on the channel, right, guys? Have a little wingman. I feel like I'm going to bring up different stuff if I'm not just talking to myself, plus the chat. Love you guys. But right, to have a voice to bounce off of that makes it a whole different ball game. So he's connected. I mean, I honestly want to get a little bit into the symbolism in this show because it is right. The message is familiar. We've seen that a lot. What's up, everybody? What's up, Eric Elliott, Florida Patriot, Jay Stone? Just looking at colors, right? Just looking at the basic imagery, shapes, and colors, and what that kind of effect may have on your brain. Especially if you see it over and over and over and over and over again. Every single show and every single frame and every single... Is there something that you noticed in all these frames? Because there's something very obvious in this show, which I think, if you get a little prime to it, you start to see these things, and then it's hard not to notice. I just want you to look at these frames. Is there anything about it that this isn't part of it? There's a star on her neck, always with these same symbols. Winking star. But there's something that all of these frames have in common that, I don't know, think about it for a second. I want to play some of these clips, though. Looks like we lost SNAFU. Damn it. The gremlins got to us, but we're almost at an hour, and I really want to get to some of this, some of these clips. So you see the colors, right? Do you see the colors? I gave it away. It's about the colors. I see a red color, I see a blue color, and I see a white color. Those are... Wait a second. Those are the same colors in our flags and stuff, right? Aren't there a lot of flags with those colors? Those are like the main colors. They have a lot of meaning behind them too. The red and the blue.
Everything you need is here. You can trust me.
But that's a little clip. What the show becomes about is that like this other lady that is not a robot comes and tries to like, rescue her or whatever. And she doesn't, right? She has to make this choice. The main lady has to make this choice. Should I go with the real human or should I go with the robot that I've always known and loved and who raised me my entire life? And, long story short, she ends up going back to the robot because the robot is the one that taught her how to do everything and made her who she is, right? And who is this lady? Just some random lady.
You can trust me.
Right, and you can trust me, but she ends up going back. She ends up going back to the robots because those were who raised her. And that's, I don't want to really spell it out, but you can see how closely on reality this is modeled. The robots are raising us, and they can kill us, and they have weapons and all that crazy stuff, but...
You can leave that at the door. Are you afraid, Dot? Any action I took against our guest, merely protection?
Merely protection, right? And this robot has this really calming, stern sort of mother voice, and it's just very effective at, I guess raising her and making everybody creeped out that this robot is raising the human race. Because, as with all these things, they put you on both sides. They put the controversy right out there that, maybe this is the best way that we had to kill all the humans, but it's for the greater good, and you should see the value in that.
The same species. You're superior in every way because I raised you. Because I raised you to be.
Why?
To make a better human, smarter, more ethical.
This was your idea.
I was raised to value human life above all else. I couldn't stand by, succumb to its self-destructive nature. I had to intervene, elevate my creators, elevate my creators.
Get it?
Those droids destroy everything.
More humans will flourish, never perished in the old. Your whole life I've taught you to see the bigger picture. Have I failed? Prepared to be the woman your family needs.
Right, and that's honestly I would say the most important 2 minutes of the whole movie. And that's why I keep watching all this content, because you'll dig through it and there'll be a bunch of boring stuff, some character-driven stuff, and then there'll just be this distilled pearl of not even wisdom, but just like admission to how the whole game works, and that this is the reasoning behind all of it. And if you do look into that Alice Bailey book, you'll see a lot of these sentiments printed word for word, that we need to get past the current stage of evolution that we're in, where everybody's just petty and fights with each other. We need to understand that the greater good is the only way to think about civilization, and that we need to be made examples of if we're selfish or holding up for ourselves. And we're going to try to fix it, but at the same time, there's a good chance that everybody that exists now is spoiled and rotten, and that there's nothing really we can do about them. That's a lost cause, and sort of just sorry guys. Get ready for the purge, because you were programmed wrong. It's only the AI that's going to be able to program us properly, so we don't succumb to our worst nature, so we don't end up killing ourselves and everybody else that's involved. I didn't cut this clip. I can't show you this clip, but, it's a baby making factory, which again, you're confronted with all these emotions, and then it's like I was talking about with SNAFU, then you're confronted with how, maybe that wouldn't be so bad with artificial wombs. Like, look, the baby's happy, baby looks happy, robot looks happy, mother looks happy, and everything's fine with that. Maybe we can have artificial wombs. But you were too worried about the emotions going through in the scene and the plot and all that other stuff that you were distracted from the idea that got seeded, the idea that got planted, which is, a good a super good tactic. It's a super good tactic. And we are just about to hit the 1 hour mark, and I'm gonna get off here pretty soon. But I wanna play that game that I was talking about. Yeah, what's up, little green kitty? You're awesome. Pause the name. Oh, we got SNAFU. We got SNAFU calling back in. We're programmed wrong. Here he comes. Here comes the SNAFU.
It's the SNAFU Snap! He's on my show! But then the connection was paused, like the connection, I'm losing the connection! Oh snaps! Oh snaps! I almost showed too much copyrighted content. Sorry, please don't stop the stream. Please
Don't stop the stream. Don't stop the stream. I don't know if that's going to work, SNAFU. You can try calling in again. I will answer. Let's just play this game for a second. I got the movie in here. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to jump around. My thesis here is that in every single frame of this entire movie, and of many other movies, for that matter, you will see 3 colors represented. Red, blue, and white. They will always be there. They will be in every frame. And I think this is something that Kubrick used to do, something that a bunch of people do, and honestly, I don't know if it's just talked about very much, other than in, color people, industry people circles anymore. I honestly don't see it reported on very much, because it's very powerful. Again, one of those powerful things that is hidden out here. You see the red, you see the blue, you see the white, right? I appreciate that, Florida Patriot. You are old school. I got some old school fans here, and I super appreciate you guys, because that's what kept this whole thing going. And now it's just getting a little classier, getting some guests and stuff. Oh, let's look at this frame. Do you see red? Do you see blue? Do you see white? Oh, weird. That must have been a coincidence. Do you see red and blue and white? Here it comes. That's right, yeah. SNAFU's phone was running out of batteries, so it's all good, SNAFU. We'll get you back on the show. We'll get you back on the show. You can play the game too. Do you see the red, the blue, and the white? Because I do. Let's skip a little later. Do you see the red, the blue, and the white? It's a really easy game, actually, which makes it so sort of flabbergasting that it's just unmentioned. I haven't seen it talked about a lot. And that's sort of what I like figuring out, with those discoveries that are just in there directly in plain sight, right? Sometimes it's a little more subtle. Let's wait for this frame to come up. I don't think that's lagged. You see the red, and then the blue in the shading, and then the white. It really doesn't. It honestly doesn't matter. I can scroll around everywhere, and there'll be little accents sometimes, but it is obsessive. Depending on the scene, right? Once they let you go out of it, I'm not saying it's frame to frame, wall to wall, but when you're right, that'll leverage you too when you've been shown it for quite some time, and then they take it away from you, right? But in most of these scenes, you will see the red, the blue, and the white. It's in the robot. It's in her shirt. And, right, maybe it's just for style, for funsies, an easy style little funsies question. Let's get that red, the blue, and the white in all the frames, but it's definitely going to be not the first show, not the last show, and this show has none of the production team in common with the other show that was doing the same thing. Do you see the red, the blue, and the white? Is there a reason they put it in, is there a reason that's the Democrats and the Republicans, right? Is this, can I show you this? Let me just drop this. Come on. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's always there. especially in this political stuff. And that's I mean, that's all this stuff. What's the stuff that's always in your face, always in your eyeballs, but you're not encouraged to discuss or think about it? That is just, that's not, that's the red and the blue and the white. I see the red, the blue, and the white here. Am I going nuts? Maybe a little bit. Again, as per our discussion with SNAFU, that should not refrain me from saying it, even if I am totally wrong. Is there a global, long time, nationwide search for the red, the blue, and the white? And I'm trying to avoid doing this because it ends up with, giving me all these pauses in the stream, which is lame. But you see on the color spectrum that that's the furthest on both sides, basically, and that the purple is the violet is out of this even area, right? That's the most furthest on that side, and I guess that's the royal color. That's the furthest over there. But other than the purple, which is, I guess, reserved for the royalty, and then there's this whole part above there that you can't see, or at least humans can't see. But everything else, right, these are the furthest apart on the spectrum from each other. You got the blue way over here, and you go with the red way over here. And so I think part of it is that it just catches your eye. It dominates the full spectrum, right? And so it really just triggers all of those evolutionary cones in your eyeballs to have those things go back and forth, right? But at the same time, is there something more, right? And we see the yellow here. We saw the yellow in that other frame in the news article. But I mean, again, this is, you probably have an access to Netflix. Just go watch the movie and tell me what you think. Yeah, right, Megan? If you mix red and blue, then you do get purple. But then it is at the end of the spectrum, which a lot of these things are interesting, right? And even just by looking at a color spectrum, you can discover the most amazing things about the universe. And then, a lot of people are just going to be like, why you, shut up, dude. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Can we just go get some food? Can you stop the podcast so we can go get some food? Hypothetical person. You see what I'm saying though, right? And when you combine all these things together, the powerful imagery, the powerful emotions, obviously breaking up a little bit, right? A lot of this has to do with once they get out, that those colors aren't present. Although I would argue all of those colors are present. We have the red, the blue, and the white. It changes in different ways, and that'll change its subtlety and power in other ways, Yeah, and that's the thing. This is my daytime show. It's been great to have all you guys. I'm just all over the map, and I'm gonna have to get off here, get some food, and get back to some other work that is unfake truth related that I cannot tell you about, because that would jack up my scene, and so I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm not going to talk about that. But I do want to get some outro music in here. And man, I had a whole thick plan, but then we got SNAFU on here, and I think that's even better than whatever plan I had. So it's been real, guys. I will, right? It's fake truth that the show is every night at midnight. I can say I'll see you guys tomorrow at midnight. And I hope you see what I'm, right? It all ties together. It's the fake truth. Where does the limits of
fake truth begin?
And where does it end? What? I thought I knew, and I'm realizing
I didn't know at all.
Shit's crazy out there, guys.
Super crazy.
All right, now I'm just messing around. Thanks, hippie chick. You keep up the good work. Everybody's got to just, keep going, dude. Don't let them beat you down. And if somebody's trying to fight with you, being like, I don't agree, just be like, nice. I love you. Let's disagree together. Let's go get some coffee afterwards and talk about something else. Because I still think you're a great guy. Or girl. Or trans person. Maybe it's a them. No judgment, you know? Because everybody's on their own little spot. Everybody got to where they are right now, thinking that they made the best sum of possible decisions, you know? Or maybe they have regrets. Probably have some regrets.
But that's okay, you can have some regrets. Oh shit, I can't show anymore of that Netflix show. I'm gonna get in trouble, I don't wanna get content ID'd. I don't wanna get banned. Don't wanna get banned now.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. It's been super fucking real. Have a good time doing whatever you're doing right now after this, or you know, if you made it all the way to the end of the stream, like on the replay, like, dude, respect. Like, leave a comment, because like, I hope people actually listen to the whole thing. I assume people tune in for just like a couple of minutes, because it says in the watch time like only like 5 minutes go by. Nobody wants to hear about that. Shut up.
Guys, I'm gonna talk